Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason JB Smoke. And of course, as always, I've got with me...
I'm Duran. Y'all know the drill. No cool nickname. But we in the building. Doing it again. Some special stuff tonight.
Yeah, we do have some special stuff tonight. So welcome to episode 14. Tonight's cigar is something different, something kind of special. So I recently signed up for a kind of special limited rare cigar club, and we are going to try one of those tonight. I've already taken the picture, so I'll be able to put that up there for you guys to get a really close look. But we have the Yellow Bird by, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pick up the card. So this is done by Aldino, JRE, and it's made by Eiroa. So, pretty well-known manufacturer out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Duran, you just took the cello off. I want you to take a look at that, because this one is aged for 2 years.
Yeah, I can see.
So it's probably just got a slight
little bit of tint,
little tint to it. Yeah. But it's I would call it like a double Corona. So it's a 6x46, and the notes on it are bourbon barrel all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So that ought to be really, really interesting. Not much on the outside there.
It just smells like normal tobacco. I don't get any special smell, or it's not infused with anything, or
nope. So
pretty normal.
And then for our spirits for the night, got a pretty special night here, right? So Duran's busting out his vault bottle.
Yeah, Jason was like, "Hey, bring that bottle." Talked me into bringing it out the house, since I opened it the other day for Father's Day. So figured, why not put it on the podcast? So we've got two Wellers. Of course, we've got your regular Special Reserve, and then we've got one of those that are highly sought after, CYPB, or Craft Your Perfect Bourbon, whichever you prefer. But we're gonna get into those.
Mm-hmm. And these are both sub 100 proof, right?
Yes, both under 100.
Just barely though, right?
Yeah. So the CYPB is 95, and is the Special Reserve, is it 90 or 95?
It is 90.
Yeah. Okay. So 90 proof on the Special Reserve.
Yeah.
You remember how long the Special Reserve is aged?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, my knowledge on these is very little. And that's very unfortunate, because they're all very good.
Yeah, so I can tell you the CYPB is 8 years, and if you don't know, CYPB hasn't been around for a very long time. So Craft Your Perfect Bourbon was a consensus, right, of like 100,000 people.
Right.
So that's a special bottle, right? Like
it is.
I was actually watching a podcast the other day, and somebody was like, the 107 is better. I disagree.
I would disagree with that.
I'm a huge fan of 107, and it's one of my favorites, but the CYPB is special. It tastes very, very good.
I would say it's second to that.
Yeah. So here's what I can say. I haven't had single barrel.
Right.
So I can't judge the line fully, because I haven't tried the single barrel, unfortunately. Right. So when I get a chance to do that, then maybe I can give you a more accurate depiction what I think is the best. But I've had every other one. And CYPB is by far my favorite right now.
Of course. And then the green label, the Special Reserve, is, they're all allocated, but this is the lowest, least allocated bottle.
Absolutely. And it's still extremely hard to find in most
places. It's still extremely hard to find.
In our area, anyway. Yeah. I don't know about your area, but in our area, any Weller is hard to get your hands on.
That's right. Most of them are in lotteries or in point systems, or, special drops from a store. Random drops from a store or something like that. So, but let's get into these things, man.
So I noticed this thing has a foot band here.
It does,
I'm trying to figure out what that is that's on the foot band.
I think they're feet.
That's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
is it the bird's feet?
I think it's the bird's feet.
Is this supposed to be Big Bird on the band?
I mean, yeah, but no, because it's that's trademarked probably.
Yeah.
And so
it's a yellow bird on the band.
It's Yellow Bird. Yeah, it's a yellow bird. That's right. But they actually call out the guy who did the artwork. It's Sedated Hype. So I'll make sure I tag him on this post. But pretty interesting artwork. Um, I've already had a couple of the from the pack, and one was very nice. The other one, to me, was average. So I've got high hopes for this one.
Okay.
Not much on the cold draw either.
Nah. I can tell you right off the bat, I didn't get anything like special from the light. Kind of a woody taste.
Well, bourbon barrel.
Yeah, but like not bourbon barrel.
Just wood though. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely woodsy.
Just wood. Like like if you're around a campfire and accidentally got like some wood flavoring in your mouth, like that's it, right?
How would you do that?
Like not like actual wood in your mouth, right? But like you know how like you're around the fire and you get the taste in your mouth from the wood burning. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
That's immediately what I got. Like just
okay. So just kind of like a campfire smoke in your mouth.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah.
That is that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
I mean this, not the campfire wood smoke in your mouth.
Nothing on the retro.
It's very light.
It's extreme light.
Like I wasn't expecting it to be so light.
Yeah.
So I guess, we'll see if this thing transitions, right?
Well, so it's supposed to change 3 times.
Right.
So first third, second third,
right.
last third, supposed to all be different. So
yeah.
We'll see if it strengthens up a little bit and maybe gives a different flavor profile as we go through.
Well, and when it comes to aging, the foot, the first third of the cigar is the least aged, right? So it's just the way that it ages,
right?
And the flavor profile tastes more aged as you smoke it. So,
okay, well,
we may not be impressed, on the foot,
not yet, but we might get there. So, where are you going to start as far as bourbon goes? You take it. So I'm gonna go here first. I'm gonna wait on the CYPB until I get into
the problem is
I
want to enjoy that. Like I want to take my time on it, right? And so like that,
I'm gonna crush
that means that I don't want to rush that, right?
Well,
because that's okay. All right, so we're gonna crush the special reserve.
Well, I'm not gonna rush it, but I'm not gonna get a big pour, right? Because
these are both weeders, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I've talked before about how I didn't realize I was a weeder guy until I started drinking weeders. So a little bit of water left in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of that. Something interesting about this bottle is that they still do the screw cap.
Yeah.
And I just think that's great. But the CYPB is a traditional cork, right?
Yeah, it's a cork. So it smells great, right? Like if you're into bourbon, you like Weller's just like probably anybody else. A lot of people are getting to the point where they're a little overpriced because you can't find them at retail.
Right.
A lot of people are forcing you to pay, maybe not secondary, but definitely over retail for them.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Like some of these shops we go into, they're charging secondary pricing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to sell them for, MSRP. They want to go ahead and get that secondary price.
Mm-hmm.
But probably
I can tell you after like cracking that CYPV the other night, like it's not even fair to drink it.
But for the availability, it is a little bit cheaper even at MSRP. It's a good bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can't go wrong with it. Like it's one of those like if I had an endless supply of it, it could be an everyday bourbon for sure. Just the problem of you can't get an endless supply realistically.
Yeah, I mean because it's sub 40 at MSRP,
yeah.
And so it's a shame that it's not even though it is the least allocated, it's still difficult to find. You know, it's just like the Taylor Taylor small batch is the least allocated of all the Taylors, but still very difficult to find.
Absolutely. And of course, Taylor and Weller come from the same distillery. If you don't know, Buffalo Trace. You know, so again, fanboy of Drew Estates. I'm a fanboy of Buffalo Trace Distillery. I think everything they do is pretty good, with the exception of maybe the entry line, which is Benchmark.
Right.
So, you know, it's okay. But if I had to buy something at that price point, I would go Wild Turkey 101.
So I was just fixing to say, like, as much as you're a fan, you know, fanboy of Buff Trace and their products, I think I'm more a fanboy of Turkey and their products.
Yeah.
I have much more Turkey products than I do Buff Trace products. I love the Long Branch, the you know, the Russells. You know, like all the Russells are great.
Surprisingly enough, like, as many bottles as I have, I don't have a bottle of Russells in my collection.
So around here, they're allocated.
Yeah, they're hard to get.
Like, as crazy as that sounds, like,
so,
you know, and not everywhere, but in a lot of places, they're allocated.
What else?
You don't have a Long Branch, probably.
I don't have a Long Branch.
You got a, you know.
I got a Turkey. I got 101. But that's the only Turkey I've got right now.
I've got 4 Turkey products right now.
Okay.
I got 101, Long Branch, Russell's, and the Kentucky Spirit.
Okay. Well, I don't have a lot of Weller right now either. Like,
so,
you know, to be completely honest, I mean, I've got some E.H. Taylor. I've got quite a few Buffalo Trace products, though. So I've got Buffalo Trace in the cabinet. I've got E.H. Taylor. Of course, I've got Weller. Yeah, so I got a few. I'm probably missing something that's in there. Like, it's getting a little deep now.
Right.
So,
well, I told you I had to clear some of the bottom shelf in my rack there.
Well, that's what I've been doing, trying to bring things in and get them finished up.
Yeah.
Because I just, you know, running out of space. You know, but it is what it is. Good problem to have.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a fun journey, right, to try all these different bourbons out there. You know, not everything is made by, like, MGP, right? You've got some of these other big guys that have several different brands, and yeah, a lot of them are the same mash bill, but they're different blends or they're different ages, you know, that sort of thing. And then you've got these small guys that they do everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love buying from those guys just because, number one, you're supporting a small business, you know, and I love supporting
smaller business.
Well, yeah, okay. That's
smaller.
This is true. Smaller and relative to the rest of the bourbon industry, right? Because I mean, it still takes, you know, $1 million to come up with a brand, right? And that's before you make it yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, that's definitely. I don't know too many small businesses that are doing $1 million.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what I hear. You know, it costs $1 million to start a bourbon business, and that's if you source it.
Yeah.
You know, and so some of these guys are doing it themselves. And it's really nice to kind of support that, you know. I think what is it? The Wyoming, I think it's called like Wyoming whiskey or something like that.
Okay.
They, you know, so they make it all themselves, and you know, so of course they're using a local water source, and you know the water's going to be different wherever you are.
Yeah, Woodinville.
Yeah,
Woodinville's a good
right?
one, right?
And so what are they're out of Oregon?
No, Seattle, Washington.
Okay. But I thought it was made in Oregon.
I don't know.
Like the brand is out of Washington, but I thought it was made. See, now we're gonna have to ask Aaron.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask.
I could have sworn he said that it, like, the distillery itself is in Oregon.
Oregon, maybe. I don't remember. I mean,
see,
maybe like, it's just bottled in
maybe
Washington.
But see, like, this is what we tell you guys. Like, you know, we're not experts.
Nah, we just have fun. Like, realistically, we're just here smoking cigars, drinking a couple of bourbons.
Like, for us, it's a journey. It's not a test of, you know, facts, kind of thing.
Not at all.
And so, you know, this is another one of those things where it's just part of the journey, right? This is part of the cigar journey. And, you know, Duran is not one to typically try new things.
I don't know if that's a fact anymore, because like now we're deep in the episodes, and like I've tried a lot of things that I normally wouldn't go near. Like if it was somewhere.
You've tried like 4 or 5 new ones by now.
I think it's more than that.
At least, yeah.
So, you know,
at least.
not even mentioning the stuff that I do at the lounge that
Right,
like, you know,
right.
I've
But I
never.
think that's great. Like you're starting
Yeah.
to, because as much as there is a variety of bourbon, I would say that there's an even bigger variety of cigars out there.
Yes.
Like the variety of cigars is just unbelievable. You know, I had one. Was it yesterday or no? It was on Father's Day,
Okay.
and it's a cigar that we're going to be bringing to you, and just the whole story behind it is incredible.
Mhm.
You know, and how long it takes to actually make the cigar.
Okay.
You know, and then this particular one we're going to do is they took it and they aged it even longer, and so it's pretty incredible, the story behind it. But a lot of these cigars just have really incredible stories, and just really exotic, you know, leaves in it. Now this one, they tell us it's Honduran. The wrapper is Honduran Habano. The binder and fillers are Corojo Hondurans. So it's a Honduran Puro, you know, which kind of tells me why it's not strong.
Yeah.
You know, Hondurans they're not typically strong. Like I know that the Opus is up there in strength, and LFDs tend to be up there in strength, and they're both Hondurans. But most Hondurans are not.
So I'll say this: it is good construction, right? Like, so it's burning well. It's got good smoke production. When you take a draw, you know, I don't see any imperfections in it. The band is very basic, man. Like there's nothing special to it. Single band, yellow, white, black.
It's just an artistic band, right?
It's an artistic band.
Very small band.
Yeah. But I'll say this: I don't think it's a bad cigar. It's just extremely light. Like,
but you know, we're gonna give it a chance, and
yeah,
and then we're
absolutely.
gonna see if it.
So I feel like I'm
strengthens up a
smoking
little
pretty
bit.
fast though. Like
it does feel like it's a fast burner.
Yeah.
But it is you know, it's a 46 ring gauge, and so you know they're gonna burn a little bit faster. You know,
can see the smoke billowing there, and
I mean,
off the top, and
it's got some pretty good smoke production.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at the smoke in the room.
Yeah.
Like it's smoking pretty good. Like other than the fact that the flavor's not blowing me away, I'm happy with the rest of the experience.
And Weller is Weller, right? Like if you've ever had any distinctive taste, not too sweet, but sweet enough to be good and enjoyable. You know, it's low proof, so there's no burn going down or anything like that. Well, I don't know, if you're a novice to bourbon, it might still hurt a little.
Like it's low to us because it's sub 100.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still in the 90s.
Yeah,
You
but
know, so for
what I'm
some,
saying is for someone who is new to bourbon,
yeah,
this might still, you know, cause a little heat in the chest.
Maybe, but it's so smooth.
Yeah, very smooth.
Right.
Well made. You know, they've been doing it for ages, so they've got this down to a science at this point.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but that Buff Trace, you know, recently, I think it's open now. Is the new distilling building?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's open, but there's a new one, new building.
So I read a story that they brought in a oh man, what do they call the people that make the stills? That's the it's not a cooperage because that's the barrels, but so the people who make the stills, right, the copper stills,
yeah, okay.
Right, and all the
those
columns
people
and stuff, right, those people, right, whatever that's called. So they brought those people in, whoever was going to make it, you know, all the stills and whatever pipes and columns for the new building. They brought them in and supposedly had them survey the current stills and such, so that they could put all of the same, like everything, including the imperfections,
into the new
ones.
That's crazy.
So that it would be as close as possible
to the original,
to the current ones. Yeah.
I mean, if you've got something that's working, right? Like you,
right.
But I will say that new bottle of Weller, like that's coming out, like what's the name of it? Can't remember. But the price is outrageous.
The price is outrageous. The MSRP is outrageous.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine
It's
what
like
the secondary.
$400.
It's $500.
500?
500.
Oh my God.
I can't even imagine what the secondary is going to be on that, because it's probably the least available bottle. You know, it's going to be some ridiculous number like $5,000 secondary. It's a bottle you'll never be able to. You know, it's going to be like the what is it? The Weller LaRue,
Mm-hmm.
right?
William LaRue.
William LaRue. Sorry. You know, so it's like that bottle, you never see it.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, when that pops up on a lottery, it's like the first bottle that goes. You know, first. You know, if it's not the first one, it's the second one, right?
It's going to be close to the top.
Yeah, because like somebody might not realize what it is, you know, and there's a couple Pappies up there, and they're like, oh, let me get the Pappy, you know. But
I would still go Pappy. Just me personally, because I know. I guess you're going to say that bottle is going to definitely be easy to sell if you wanted to as well. But I know a Pappy. I'm not a huge Pappy guy. I don't think it's that incredible.
mm-hmm.
So for me, if I get my hands on a bottle at retail, it's almost guaranteed it's gone.
So that's my thing. Like, I wouldn't go for the Pappy because I would only do it to resell it.
Right.
I'm not going to drink a Pappy. I would drink the LaRue, just like, you know, the bottle that I actually did get was a bottle that I knew that I would open.
Right.
Like, yeah, I considered selling it because, you know, I mean, I can make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to not consider that.
Absolutely.
But we are not some people who buy bottles to resell them.
No, we normally buy them to actually enjoy them.
That's right.
So,
and I've only bought one bottle ever secondary. You know, so and I got it for, I didn't get it for like full secondary price, right?
No,
it was a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And, you know, so he didn't like gouge me, you know, so I appreciate that. But I'm also not one to support that secondary market. So, did you already pour the? He didn't waste any time.
That's just so much better.
Yeah.
Like,
it's always fun watching someone have that for the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and so like that happened not that long ago, and it's I feel like, you know, both cigars and bourbon are such a community of activity, and, you know, to see someone try a really great bourbon for the first time is just,
it's magical.
So enjoyable.
Yeah, it's magical, man. Like, you know, especially if they're really into bourbons, right? And, you know, you pull out that rare bottle that's really hard to find, and
yep.
You taste it and you actually get enjoyment out of it. Because there are some bottles that have come out, I've tried it and been like,
it's not that great.
Yeah, it's a little overhyped.
All right, here we go.
So I don't feel like I've gotten any changes in the cigar.
It's gotten a little stronger.
Maybe
I can tell in the retro.
Yeah.
There's definitely more there, but it's just more of the same. So I don't think we've gotten to that point of transition quite yet.
Yeah.
All right, so let me see here. Man, the smell in it it's so much like more refined than the Special Reserve.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God, it's
better.
so good. Oh God, it's so good. It's got this sweetness to it that is, it's more complex than the Special Reserve.
Oh,
like
by far.
Yeah, like, and then the linger on the palate, like, God, why has that got to be so good and so hard to get? There's almost this like baking spice kick to it, just a little bit.
Again, whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's anything out there that actually tells you like what the build is, right? Like, so I've never seen anything that says, hey, it's this much of this and this much of that. Like, realistically, probably the only people that know are Buffalo Trace.
You know, I know that the mash bill plays a lot into how a bourbon tastes, but I don't know that the mash bill between the Wellers varies that much. So this has to be in either the aging, the location of the barrel in the warehouse, the length of the aging, the blending, you know, like it's something to do with, it's got to be something to do with all that.
Well, again,
it's not a single barrel. I mean, so it is a blend.
It's definitely a blend, but again, so the way it was created was a bunch of people voted on,
right,
different things,
right,
but they didn't release that voting.
Right. They didn't. Right. They didn't release what they were voting on.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, but it is absolutely spectacular. Like, so for me, of all the ones that I've tasted, and I haven't tasted the single barrel either.
Right.
But
You've had foolproof?
I've had the foolproof.
Okay.
And to me, that one is the best of all, what is that, 5 or 6. So for me, it's like best to worst, like, and like worst is still great, right? Because this is the worst.
Yeah.
But it's still great, right? So best CYPB, the Antique 107, foolproof, 12-year, and the Special Reserve.
Right.
I don't think I'm forgetting any of them. I think that's all of them.
No, you got them all.
So, like, and like, you talk to other people and they might swap one for this one.
Yeah, like,
right?
I've heard people say like foolproof over 107,
I just love the 107. I think what does it for me with the 107 over the foolproof is that the 107 is much more available than the foolproof.
Suppose. There's a special complexity to the 107, right? Like, I think it's in a sweet spot. Like, just the proof, the taste, and everything that goes with it. It's in a great sweet spot. But when we talk availability, like, none of them are readily available. Like, if you're super lucky if you walk into a store and find anything other than the Special Reserve.
And even if that.
And if that, right? But like,
right.
So if you walk into a store and see an antique 107 sitting there and you're able to grab it, like,
right,
that's a good day.
Right. And at MSRP, like, none of them are crazy pricey.
No.
Like, I don't think
I don't even remember what I paid for that.
55, I think is what you paid for that.
$50.
Yeah, 50, 55
plus tax.
Yeah. So like, it's, so like at MSRP, they're all very affordable. It's just, the demand is 100 times more than the supply.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely crazy.
A lot of people buy these bottles and, like, it's not their favorite thing to drink. And, like, I'm not going to lie, like, there's probably a few bottles out there that, like, for me, rival, CYPB. You know what I'm saying? Like, CYPB is very good, but, like, it's the fact that it is CYPB, right? Like, it's just that hard to get in your collection.
The prestige.
Right, the prestige of actually having
changes
a bottle.
The experience.
But there are other bottles out there that I enjoy just as much.
Yeah.
Like, and are much more readily available.
Right. Yeah. Like, the first time I had that Kentucky Spirit, that Turkey Kentucky Spirit, I was blown away about how good it was. What was it? That Pinhook single barrel 7-year bourbon, the one with the yellow top, was
Penelope.
The
barrel strength.
Yes.
Right. That's
it, and it's on the shelf, available every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, and it's like $55.
Well,
right?
It might be 55 now. Like, when we first started getting them, I think they were up around 70.
Are they that much?
Yeah. The one with the red label is.
Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it was more like 55, but okay, you might be right. Well, we don't have too much longer here. We've got about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on the cigar?
Again, you can see that I've smoked a considerable amount.
Yeah, you're a little bit further than me.
Still
hasn't transitioned though for you, right?
Not enough that it's
noticeable,
right? So it may be a little bit more, a little heavier on the palate at this point. But I don't get the nuances of bourbon.
Well, I don't think it's so much, they say bourbon barrel, but I think it's just wood.
It's
right?
wood.
Like, a bourbon barrel is wood.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they mean like bourbon flavor and wood. Like, so, because I definitely get that woodsy flavor. Um, they're talking about like baking spices and some white pepper,
I
and
don't get any of that.
I mean, I kind of get the little hint of pepperiness, but it's very, very, very light. Um, the retro is extremely light and clean. Nothing.
So the retro is just wood.
Yeah, it's very woodsy.
It's like that
we're
is the
not.
thing that just
Yeah,
like is overpowering.
and
it's
we're
just
not.
wood.
Yeah, and it's funny because like we're not like
We're not those guys that taste
flavor
those things,
notes
but
kind of
like
guys, but it
it's
is
wood.
very much 90% wood flavor. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know that I've had one this
that
woodsy.
just jumps out that pronounced.
It's so woodsy.
Like when I just retroed it again, I was just like, yeah, that is it.
Yeah,
Just wood.
yeah. It's like wood and tobacco. Like so. Would I buy this again? I don't think so. No, probably not.
Probably not.
Um, so far of all the stuff that I've had, this limited aged and rare stuff, I've only had one so far that I would buy again.
Okay, but this one is young too, right? So it's aged 2 years.
This one is one of the younger ones. Yeah, it's only 2 years. The one that I would buy is like 6 years.
Okay, so that's a huge difference.
That's a big difference. Yeah. But the idea here, guys, that I'm thinking is that we'll try to bring you one of these, super rare, limited age cigars, like once a month, something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. This is the first time I've done this.
Yeah.
I was very interested in it. I've gotten to the point where the cigars out there are giving me a lot. The big brands, the stuff that's readily available, is giving me a lot of the same flavors.
Yeah.
It just seems like the same stuff over and over again. And so this is giving me an opportunity to just try something different. And they've definitely been different. Like I don't know that I've ever had something this woodsy.
That's the thing for me, right? Like I tell you, I'm a creature of habit. I like having consistency and knowing that when I pick something up, I'm going to get exactly what I thought I was going to get.
Well, you're going to love it, right?
Right.
You're going to love it.
So I do enjoy trying new things, but I am not overly impressed with this one, unfortunately. I was hoping for, something that would jump off and just be...
I was excited to try it just because I knew it would be different. And it's different.
It's definitely different. It's definitely different. I just don't know that the difference is a great distinguishing factor in this one.
So there's definitely a difference, but that difference is not enough for me to go out and, try and get like a 10-pack or something.
No, absolutely not.
This is not up my alley.
No.
But, that's not to say it won't be up somebody else's. Like if you like woodsy cigars, man,
that's it.
This is the one right
that's
here.
It.
I have never had such a woodsy forward cigar as this one. And I've had some woodsy cigars, but this thing takes the cake. So they definitely provided something different, which I appreciate. I can appreciate that.
And it's so, and the crazy part for me is it's like, I don't even know if I can consider this a medium bodied cigar. Like if it's medium, it's on the very lightest end of the medium spectrum.
I agree with you. And we're also seasoned cigar smokers, so for us that's where it is. But for newer smokers, this might be very much in the medium.
Yeah.
In the middle. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. I think this is very mild to medium. It's not terrible.
No, I think it's a good cigar. Like I don't mind it. It's just not something that like I would gravitate towards, right? Like, but if someone gave it to me, I wouldn't have a problem smoking it. Like I could easily grab it out of the humidor and say, oh, I would enjoy that, right? Like it's not one that, because I've got a few at the house right now that are gifts, that are still in the humidor, and I'm like, I know I don't want to smoke that. Like,
yeah, and I think that's something that maybe sets this one apart from what you were just describing. Like, yeah, this isn't something I'm going to go out and buy, but I wouldn't turn it down.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So
it's enjoyable. You can
know,
definitely enjoy it.
whoever made this, I mean, it's definitely enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my preference.
It's just it's very different from what we normally smoke, so it's an enjoyable cigar. Nothing bad, nothing good. Like, but let me not say that. There's definitely nothing bad.
Mm-mm. No, I agree with you.
But there is nothing that is like stand out about it.
It's just not up our preference alley.
Yeah.
You know, it just. I mean,
So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Do what you
I
would
mean,
with it.
yeah. So like, I'll put up on the screen where you guys can get one of these if you're interested. Um, the site sells, as far as I know, so they do sell like big brand stuff, but this stuff is only in singles. But shipping is really cheap. It's like $5 for shipping.
Okay.
So that's pretty damn cheap for shipping.
Yeah.
And it's $5 no matter how much you order.
Okay.
One cigar or 100, it's $5.
That's good.
So.
Well, or bad if you're only ordering one.
I mean, but if you order like, say you order like 3 different ones, and they're reasonably priced. I think. So I don't know that we talked about that, but I think this is like $11. So, when you factor
That's a good price point
$11,
for it.
into
That's a
that,
good price point.
like, that's not bad.
No, not at all.
That's not bad at all. So, but anyway.
Well, final thoughts. Anything extra?
Final thoughts. Like, so the CYPB is one of those, like, if you can get your hands on any Weller, you want to do it. But personally, the CYPB, without tasting the single barrel, the CYPB is just, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is so much better, I think, than the other ones. It's so much better. But I mean, that's all I got. What about you, man? Like, you just had it the other day and you're having it again.
It's because it's great.
Man, I'm so glad you brought it.
To enjoy it, bring it over to our friends and, enjoy it together, enjoy it on the podcast, so it's hard to beat. But with that being said, I think it's time to wrap it up, man.
Let's wrap it up.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us again on, High Proof Ashes. We got some more things coming down the pipe, man. So
we do.
Keep locking in.
Yep.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell so that you know when we drop new episodes. But I am Duran. No cool nickname. Throw them in the comments if you got them. My co-host.
I am Jason JB Smoke, and I don't think we covered it, but yes, this is a Cigars and Bourbon podcast. But please drink responsibly.
Absolutely.
We both got water right here, and yeah, we're gonna finish this cigar, but we're gonna drink plenty of water behind this.
Absolutely.
And make sure we stay hydrated. But I am Jason JB Smoke, and we will if we have any extra notes on this cigar after we're done filming, I'll put a little card up to let you guys know if we had anything extra to share. So
sounds like a plan.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
See ya.